Hey everybody, I'm Joe.
And I'm Melissa.
And together we're J&M Photo Video. We want to welcome you to Blue Hour.
In our first episode
It's
of 2024.
It's not.
Well,
Okay,
did you
I didn't
update this
fix
thing?
that. Okay, I thought I did. I didn't.
Jesus, the editing these days.
I know.
Hey everybody, I'm Joe.
And I'm Melissa.
And together we're J&M Photo Video, and we'd like to welcome you back to another episode of Blue Hour, our podcast where we talk about all things wedding photography, videography, and creative entrepreneurship.
This podcast is geared toward couples planning their wedding and anybody in the wedding industry.
So I've got a bit of a fun one here today. I have a list that we found on social media that you have seen the link.
Yeah, I've seen the link, but I haven't clicked on it.
But I haven't read the list. It is the knot.com. Wedding photography trends you shouldn't miss out on in 2024.
Okay.
So we're going to go down the list. I'm going to tell you the trend, and we're going to get your reaction and have a little commentary.
Okay.
And we're going to try to keep this one short.
Yeah.
So
I'm just going to straight up react.
There are 7 items.
Okay.
Okay. So let's dive right in. That was very cheesy. Anyway, so 2024 wedding photography trends. How do you feel about trends in general, being a wedding photographer?
I feel like trends are okay to a degree.
Yes.
Like using trends should be a supplement to the normal stuff you do.
Okay, I'm with you.
So you're still going to do, we call it like the fridge pick or the photo for mom.
Right.
We're still going to have a couple just stand and look at the camera. What grandma is going to put on her mantle.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
We're still going to do our normal posing. Right. But there are certain trends that brides in 2024 have seen all over Instagram, TikTok, wherever they get their content. And they're going to want to do.
And you want to serve that couple by fulfilling that wish because they got married in that year.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But you also don't want to, you want to honor your own style.
Right.
And not just bend to the trend.
Right. So I think that there's a place for trends to supplement the normal stuff you already do.
Yep. I completely agree.
And they're extra things.
Right. You do them in addition to.
Right.
Not.
Right.
Right. And not just to be trendy either.
No.
Because I think that's kind of trash.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me what this first one is.
So the first trend that we'll be seeing in 2024, according to this article, blurred action wedding photography.
I'm okay with it.
Blurry photos.
I'm okay with blurry photos if there's action happening.
Yes.
If bride and groom are running. If bride and groom are standing still, and we've done this shot before, and your wedding party is walking on either side, and you're getting the wedding party blurred, but the bride and groom is perfectly still.
Right.
If there's movement happening, I'm okay with blurry, but blurry just to be blurry, no.
Yeah, I agree. I have to have some kind of motion in it for it to feel right at all.
I see why it's a trend. I see why, I guess, people would want that.
Because it's fun and imperfect and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the abstractness of it. But I don't know.
There are other things you can do to be abstract, though, I feel like.
But as photographers, we strive to nail focus. We strive to have, crispy, clean images.
Right.
And so to be blurry, just to be blurry is, not cool.
It's not fun either.
No.
So, but we will do it.
Yeah.
If it's something that you want.
If it's something that you want.
Like I said,
there's
serving couples. Yeah. Right.
I think if there's motion, it's fine. I'm okay with it.
Number 2.
Okay.
And I guess I could just kind of scroll to where they're all listed here.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Number 2, disposable cameras. And they got into, because I skimmed this earlier, they talked about putting disposable film cameras out for your guests.
Okay.
And I will add to this the QR code that you scan to add your cell phone pics to. I'll add that in myself.
Okay. I'm okay with disposable cameras because that's going to offer a unique perspective to the couple.
Mm-hmm.
However, the cost it's going to be to develop
I was just about
the disposable
to say,
cameras. Let's say you have 10 tables and you have 10 disposable cameras, at minimum. Okay. Like, what is the cost to develop those 10 disposable cameras?
Last year I was looking, I think, like $12 a roll.
Like to buy the film or to develop the film?
Well, no. Well, actually, disposable cameras are crazy expensive.
Yeah, they're
right
like
now,
$14 a pop, if not more.
Right. So there's your film covered, right?
Okay.
But you're
Do I
going to
need
pay
a calculator for this?
if you need to.
Yeah,
sure,
I need
go
a calculator. I can't math that hard.
So
the camera itself, let's call it $14.
Sure.
Okay.
So 10
Times
tables.
10. Let's
you're at 140.
minimum of 10. 140.
Yeah. So then you have probably, let's just make it a round number and say 14 in developing each roll.
Another $14 per thing. So we're at $280.
Yep. And then you're going to have to ship them.
Right.
You're probably going to have $20 in shipping for that many cameras and the size of the package and everything.
So you're at like $300 for that. So I don't know. That isn't as expensive as I thought it was going to be, but it's still not cheap for the quality of images you're going to get.
Sure, because not everybody's going to shoot.
You could have
36.
drunk Uncle Steve in the corner with a camera, like trying to take selfies, and he's getting the wall half the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just making that up. Like, but you know, like the quality of image you're going to get with a disposable camera.
The finger over the frame.
Oh yeah, finger over like the viewfinder. Yeah. Like.
But I mean, there's something to be said for like the perfect imperfect of that.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or like, let's say you have kids at your wedding, and the disposable cameras just get in the hands of like 10-year-olds.
Yeah. That can be cool.
Okay, but like, what are they taking photos of? The dirt?
Who knows? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
I can only imagine our daughter with.
I know she's not 10, she's 4, but like, if you give her, like, you've taken photo walks with her.
She's actually a pretty good photographer.
Okay, but still, like, you took.
I'm biased because I'm her dad, but.
Yeah, but you've taken her on a photo walk before with a little digital, like, point and shoot camera, and half of her photos were pictures of rocks.
Indeed.
But like, let's say it's your wedding and you like some 4 or 5-year-old gets a hold of one of your like disposable cameras and it's like half the roll is pictures of rocks.
That's something to be considered.
You know?
The same could be said for like the Instax and everything, but at least in that case, you'd hope that some adult is like auditing those photos as they come out.
Who knows? I think the Instax things are cool.
Those are like $1 a frame.
They are.
Which isn't awful.
Right. And you also have the cost of the camera itself.
Sure.
So like the Instax Mini that we have, I think is about like $70-$80.
Yep.
And we've taken that to weddings before and kind of like snapped pictures throughout the day and like
I love taking that to weddings.
I do too. We need to take it to more weddings this year, and we'll lay them on like the head table. As just like little extra like keepsake mementos for that day.
But the packs of film for those, you only get 10 frames.
But you can buy on like Amazon or from Target like a value pack.
Yeah.
Like I saw one from Target not too long ago where I think you got like 60 frames and it was like $40 or something. I don't remember the numbers exactly, but I like the QR code thing.
Yeah, I've seen that at a couple weddings, so I figured I'd throw that in. You want to touch on that real quick?
It's
Should I explain what it is?
Yeah, like you scan the QR code, you upload like whatever photos you took at the wedding or videos you've taken at the wedding, so that the bride and groom can see them later. I think
that's nice. It's a little easier than like the hashtag thing.
I haven't seen as many wedding hashtags lately.
I haven't either.
Like I can't really remember a wedding hashtag from this year.
Did that trend go away?
I don't know. Like, is it still cool to have a wedding hashtag?
Ours was so hard because like our names are so different.
I don't really think we really had a wedding hashtag.
I don't think we kind of did.
All right.
Moving to the next one.
Moving to the next one.
In the interest of brevity. Documentary and photojournalistic photography.
I mean,
that seems like a no-brainer to me.
That's what we already do.
We already do that, yes.
But,
I'm going to see what they have to say.
We do have moments, though, that we pose the people. And we do have moments where we kind of just, all right, look at the camera and smile. Like family photos, bride and groom session. But like, what are they saying is documentary and journalistic?
So they're saying the reasoning behind it is essentially, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't want to just copy the article straight up here. They're essentially saying that people are interested in that documentary style of photography to not like make their wedding look more than it is. Like there's a trend toward reality, which is good.
I feel like we document weddings to look the way they look. Like it's the reality of the wedding.
Right, but not, that's definitely our style. But there are others who overpose and overcalculate and over
and
everything.
We're not necessarily bringing big lights and
no, not
things.
Unless we really have to.
No,
we can
for video.
We know how, but we don't.
For photo,
we try not to do that.
We're not doing a ton of that. So.
Yeah. So here's the next one.
Okay.
The next one is drone photography.
Okay.
And the image that they have in the article, I will say, is pretty cool.
Okay.
And this is something I would love to do.
Yes.
But with the caveat.
We need a better drone.
No, with the caveat of you have to be careful flying a drone anywhere near that many people.
Sure. And you have to be licensed.
You need to be licensed. You need to. So I'm really interested to see like where that goes.
Right. You can do some really cool stuff with drones.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like that's one of the questions anytime and I know this is a photo list, but anytime someone is booking us for video, that's one of their questions. Like, do you have a drone?
Oh, you're going to fly a drone on my wedding day?
You're going to fly a drone? I'm like, well, I'm not, but Joe is. Like,
yes, I love flying the drone, unless the president's in town.
Yeah. So there are definitely stipulations as to whether or not a drone can be flown.
Yep.
Weather is a big one. And then we are in the DMV area, so close to DC. And if the president is anywhere close to where the venue is, we can't fly.
We've done weddings on the coastal Maryland area.
Yeah.
And if the president's in Delaware, that's a no-go.
Yep.
We've done weddings in Western Maryland where we're near Camp David.
Yeah.
And that can be a no-go.
Yeah.
So the drone, we try to do it as much as we can.
Yeah. But every wedding you did a video for this year, you flew.
Yes. Yeah, we did get lucky in that regard. But I would love to start using it for photo. I think that's a cool, different perspective you can offer your couples.
I do too.
So that's kind of a cool one.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that one.
I'm okay with drone photography. Because there are definitely some cool things you can do with it, but like you said, the safety of the guest is important.
Yeah.
And I also think the timeline on that is important because it does take a few minutes to get the drone out, to get it up in the air, to line up the shot perfectly. If you're a couple that doesn't want to spend a lot of time on your photos, drone photos isn't necessarily the way to go.
Right. I do like the example that they have in here where and you can't see this, but there's a couple walking up to their ceremony in this big open space outside.
Right.
And it looks like it's completely safe because you're able to fly the drone behind all the people.
Here's my thing, though. Okay, your music would have to be loud enough that you wouldn't hear the buzz of the drone. I don't know. I would be, as a guest, distracted by the buzz of the drone.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah, I would be.
You'd be looking for it.
Yeah, I know. I would be looking for it.
If you were a guest, where's the drone?
Yeah, you're like, what is that?
Yeah.
Which airframe does that look like?
All right. What are we on, number 4?
No, this is number 5.
Ooh, we're cruising along.
5 of 7. We are cruising right along.
Okay.
Here's another one that I actually really love that I'm totally okay with. If done correctly. Can you guess what it is?
I have no idea.
Film photography.
Oh, yeah. That's actually something we offer.
Yep.
We offer film photography to be added onto wedding day packages. And we use a camera from the 1990s. So it's newer than us, but
yes, just by a little bit. But it's one of the earlier serial number ones, I believe, which is pretty cool.
We're talking like 94, 95.
94, 95, yeah.
So,
but it has autofocus and it takes all of our professional lenses and it's just a really cool thing to add to wedding day.
So we can take a lens from our kit that we'd put on our normal cameras and stick it on this camera, which is really cool.
Yeah, and I have some pretty strong opinions on film. I think it's really cool when done correctly. I think that the colors and just the way that it looks, it's really hard to replicate that in digital. And we use kind of film-based tones in our editing. I was
literally about to say that.
So we are kind of close to that. There are people that really go super hard on matching film, and they'll shoot the film and match them in post.
Right.
Which is not really our vibe. But I do love a good roll of film on wedding day.
I do too. So, and I like the images that we get from that. So
character, I think, is the word.
So I don't know. And I feel like I think I touched on this in a previous episode, but a lot of our couples in 2023 were around our age. So when they were little, their parents probably took photos of them on a film camera.
Yep.
So there's the nostalgia.
Granted, probably not the same film camera we're using unless they were photojournalists.
No.
But
okay. But it's still the film element.
Right.
Like the colors, everything that film does,
Mhm.
the sound of the shutter, like it's still that nostalgia feeling.
Yep.
Even if like it was a disposable camera or,
Yep.
you know, I think my parents had like an Olympus like film camera.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That they would take pictures.
Those were like so common.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just the nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
The film.
Yeah. Now, something I can't get behind, and this is getting into the video side of things, I can't get behind the Super 8 trend.
Oh, no. I don't like that.
Like, that's not
I'm not a fan.
So many people, even like luxury people that I follow,
Yeah.
do that. And I'm not into it.
I don't like it.
I don't
know.
I hate to trend bash, but I kind of want to trend bash here.
That's one I'm not a fan of.
It seems super expensive for a very low return.
Yeah.
And that technology is even less common, I feel like, in working order in good condition than 35 mil or medium format film cameras.
Right.
Like still cameras.
Right.
So I can't see
I don't like it.
The return
if
on
if I am purchasing a wedding film, I want it to be crisp.
Yeah, it's 2024.
Yeah. You almost said 23, didn't you?
No, I was just getting it out slowly.
I don't know. I feel like I'd want my wedding highlight film to look like 2024.
We also grew up in an age where we saw video quality get better and better and better. And for me personally, I can't stand looking back at like early 2000s like handy cam footage, although I could see the nostalgia argument.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the Super 8 stuff. It's not something that we're going to offer.
No, I think I'll pass on that one.
Yeah.
I would consider carrying a dad cam.
Yeah.
Because I think that can be kind of cool. The little one of those.
Does your dad have one?
He does.
Yeah.
480p, baby.
Oh, man.
I think it shoots 720, maybe.
Man, let's get that.
Yeah. Next on the list.
Okay. Is this the last one?
The second to last.
Okay.
2 more. Direct flash photography.
I'm for it. I want to do more of it. I don't think I did very much of it in 2023.
I'm for it, but I can't make it look cool yet.
No, I want to work on that.
I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
I've gotten really good with figuring out how to take a flash and bounce it or modify it somehow. But
do off camera.
Yeah. I'm not very good with just like pointing it at someone and getting a good result yet.
I feel like in knowing what we have booked for this year too, I think there's some venues that the direct flash might really work well with.
Agreed. Yep.
So some of the venues where like we've really struggled with lighting.
Yeah.
That we are returning to again this year, which we're excited for.
Yeah.
Because it kind of helps us to be thinking more out of the box and getting those images lit.
I think that's kind of something that all these trends are really good for if you're a photographer, is like getting you to step outside the box.
Yeah.
And continue pushing to try to figure different things out.
Right.
I think that's why photographers like fall into these trends so much. Right. So
because you see something cool on social media,
right,
on Instagram, and you just want to like, oh, how did they do that? I want to do that.
I like reverse engineering them, trying to figure out.
Yeah.
I do the same thing with music.
I know you do.
So it is fun to like try to figure out how somebody did something.
Okay. So we're for direct.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So last on the list.
Okay.
Under the Veil wedding portraits.
We already do that.
We do that, yes.
We have always done that.
I think the article was getting into like, this is something that's been around, but it's now back around.
Okay. But did it ever go away?
I don't think so. I don't know. I've seen them for as many years as we've been doing this and then some. So.
I mean, what will we be, 8 years this year? Like our anniversary is 8 years?
Yep. We're 8 years married.
We have Under the Veil photos from our wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that is a
new trend per se. Yeah.
So I'm for it.
Do you think they ran out of stuff and just like tacked that on there?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like whoever wrote that article was like looking like on Instagram trying to find something. And they're like, oh, this is kind of cool. Let's make that a trend.
Yeah. Wasn't one of your favorite bridal portraits this year?
Yes. It was
a veil shot.
Yeah. And it wasn't the couple under the veil. It was just the bride.
Yeah.
And she had a cathedral length veil, which I love. Like, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was raining. It rained the entire wedding day. I feel like it rained for most of our September weddings this year.
It did.
And some of our October weddings this year.
Yep.
But it was just the bride, and she was standing out front of the church, and it was just me and her out there. I think you were doing like groomsmen photos.
Yep.
And I kind of took her veil and like swung it with one hand and snapped the photo in the other, and the wind grabbed it, and oh my gosh, it was beautiful.
Just all like locked in place.
And then later,
it's a great shot.
At that same wedding, we were trying to do some cool veil stuff, and the wind and rain were so strong, her veil just went flying. Mm-hmm. Like it was gone.
Yours flew away on your wedding day too.
Yeah. One of my bridesmaids caught it. I couldn't tell you who, but one of them did. I don't know.
I always struggle getting them in there.
Yeah.
Like I have to help you.
Yeah. I'm so short that I struggle if the groom's really tall, putting it over him.
It's kind of awkward.
It's kind of like struggling to get under it as well.
Right.
So.
But it's really neat once you get them under there. It's a nice look.
Yeah. It's normally just me and the couple hanging out under a big mosquito net. Like. Yeah. So.
Are there any other trends that were not on that list that you want to comment on?
I don't know. There's none like on the top of my head. I didn't really like prepare for this one.
Yeah,
you kind of texted me this afternoon and said like,
let's do it. Yeah,
we're recording anyway. Let's
tack
I
this
have an
on.
idea, and I'm like, okay. And I've been parenting so hard this evening that I didn't even like.
This is true.
I didn't want to look at the list anyway.
Yeah.
So I just didn't. And yeah.
Right on.
I'm okay with like all of these.
I'm surprised. I thought we'd have more.
I thought I'd have some hot takes, and I
thought
don't.
there would be more opinion here, but
yeah.
I do like most of them.
Yeah.
So maybe in the interest of brevity, we wrap this one up. What do you think? If you're listening to this and you're one of our couples, are there trends that you want to see? Are there trends that you don't want to see? Feel free to...
If you see something and you like it, I mean...
DM us.
DM us.
Drop us a note. Leave us a comment.
Yeah.
That kind of leads us into... Where can they find us?
Hey! They can find us at jnmphotovideo.com, as well as jnmphotovideo on Instagram, Facebook.
And our podcast is listed under Blue Hour with J&M on all the major podcasting platforms.
Yeah, as well as YouTube.
So like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever you feel inclined to do.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.